Welcome to the Anderson Center. I'm Parker Abate with Justin Connolly. It's playoff basketball. Misericordia versus Manhattanville. Cougars versus Valiants. The Cougars trying to get their 22nd win of the season, which would be the most in program history. Also attempting to advance to their first conference championship game in 7 years. They won it back in 2012. Justin, a lot of excitement in the air. What are you looking forward to tonight?
I'm really looking forward to both of these teams split the season series. The first game went to the Cougars by 11 points. They won the board game. They won on the boards. Cougars had 4 players over 10 points in that game, and they were dominant in the free throw position. Manhattanville came in and won the turnover battle in the second game, winning by 3 points. And really, it all goes down to I can't think of her name right now. Kaylee McGuire. Really, 20 points in both of those games. She is going to be the key matchup for Manhattanville, and look for the Cougars to dominate the boards once again as they have in both of those games.
We're going to take a quick break. We're just a couple minutes away. Starting lineups are coming up. The anthem's just about to happen now. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Anderson Center for tonight's MAC Freedom semifinal matchup between the Valiants of Manhattanville College and your Cougars of Misericordia University. Please stand and remove your caps as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem. Tonight's starting lineups. First for Manhattanville College. At guard, a 5'9" freshman from Silver Spring, Maryland. Number 3, Allie McKay. At guard, a 5'8" sophomore from Boca Raton, Florida. Number 4, Spencer Shore. At guard, a 5'6" sophomore from Cranston, Rhode Island. Number 11, Sarah Kutu. At forward, a 5'7" sophomore from Las Vegas, Nevada, number 45, Andrew Pemberton. And at forward, a 5'10" senior from Somers, New York, number 21, Kaylee McGuire. The Valiants are coached by Kate Alakis and assist by Sam Lane, Taylor Wilson, and Chris Del Judas. And now the starting lineup for your Misericordia Cougars, brought to you by Wendy's. At guard, a 5'5" sophomore from Gaithersburg, Maryland, number 3, Kaylin Sefchin. At guard, at forward, a 6'1" junior from Sayre, Pennsylvania, number 34, Paige Whoa. At guard, a 5'8"
And we are back. Starting lineups just now being announced for the Manhattanville Valiants. A freshman guard, number 3, Allie McKay. A sophomore guard, number 4, Spencer Shore. A sophomore guard, number 11, and second team All-MAC Freedom, just announced today, Sarah Kutu. Joining her on that second All-MAC Freedom team is number 21, a senior forward, Kaylee McGuire, and a sophomore guard and forward, number 45, Amanda Pemberton. For your Cougars, number 2, senior Japria Carroll, who is also named to the second team All-MAC Freedom conference today. A sophomore point guard, number 3, Kaylin Sefcek. A senior guard, number 10, Leanne Forsyth. A senior forward, a first-team all-conference player, number 23, Rachel Carmody. And a junior forward, number 34, Paige Wampel. Those are your starters for tonight. Misericordia Cougars versus the Manhattanville Valiants. A trip to the championship on the line. While I'm talking about that, the other game that's taking place at DeSales right now is all tied up with 8 minutes to go in the third quarter. DeSales is tied with Kings 36-36. We'll make sure to keep you updated on that one, as the winner here will end up playing the winner there. Obviously, we do not know where that championship game will be yet, Justin. Depends what happens here, depends what happens there. Definitely a lot of excitement as we're getting ready to go here tonight.
As a rival, you're playing Kings all the time. You don't usually want to root for them, but I'm rooting for Kings. I'm rooting for Kings in this one just because we want to be able to announce another game. We want this championship game to be home.
And the official steps up. Ball is up in the air. We are underway here as Kayla McGuire wins the tip for the Valiants. Kutu dribbles to her right. Going to set up the offense. She's going to get it over to McKaylee. McKaylee's going to drive left. Carroll on her. Carroll strips her. Japria Carroll now looking up to find Forsyth. Leanne Forsyth going up hard, and she's going to get fouled and head to the line. A good defensive possession to start for the Cougars, and now Forsyth in transition, gets fouled and will head to the free throw line.
And I know we talked about turnovers. This was a big thing in the second game of Manhattanville winning that game by 3, but now the Cougars really starting off with the first turnover of the game. That's huge for them.
Forsyth takes the first one. That one is no good. She is 63.5% from the line this season. The senior out of Staten Island, New York, has had a very good career here for the Cougars. And she gets the second one to go. Cougars are on the board first. There's Kutu topping the top of her head, excuse me. She gives it to McGuire. McGuire is going to be on, Wampel is going to be on her. She's going to try charging, and Wampel swats it out of bounds. Paige Wampel with a good defense on Kayla McGuire there. McGuire will inbound it for the Valiants. She looks up and she finds McKaylee, who gets it right out, and that's going to be a travel as she hopped before she put it down and tried looking for McGuire. It'll go back to the Cougars. That's 2 early turnovers for the Valiants.
And that's exactly what the Cougars need. They need to start this game off hot if they're going to win this one, advance to the next round. Excellent way to start this game off.
Sefcek hands it to Forsyth. Forsyth gets it over to Carroll. Carroll looking into Carmody. Carmody looks for Wampel, and that ball is tipped and ends up in the hands of Pemberton. So it'll go back to the Valiants. Shore handles the point this time around for the Valiants, hands it off to McKaylee. There's Carroll again, playing good defense, and the jump shot from McGuire, no good. Wampel's there for the board. Ends up in the hands of Forsyth, now over to Sefcek, who hands it off to Carroll. Carroll's going to dribble left. She's going to go all the way up the left hand, and no good. It just rims out there for Japria Carroll. And then Carmody is fighting for the ball with Kutu, and she gets called for the reach-in foul.
Rachel Carmody, first, Bishop Money's first team foul, first quarter.
Kutu holds up the number 4. She gets it to McGuire. McGuire looks over and finds McKaylee. McKaylee pulls up from the top of the key, and that is good. A nice looking shot there from the freshman guard. Sefcek gives it over to Forsyth. Forsyth going to dribble left. She's going to go and put it up with the right hand. That's no good, but Carmody there for the offensive board, and she gets fouled underneath by McGuire. So good job by Carmody there, getting the offensive board.
And the Cougars really in those first both games, like I said, dominating in the rebound game. Even in the loss by 3 points to Manhattanville, they were out-rebounded them 60-39. Cougars the number 1 rebounding team in the MAC. Definitely been using that to their advantage this season.
Carmody is 60.5% free throw shooter. Can't get the first one to go. Second one just goes in there, so now it is all tied up at 2. Kutu gives a little handoff to Pemberton. Pemberton looks over to Michieli. Michieli then finds Kutu. And Forsythe working on defense, and she strips it, ends up in the hand. She gives it over to Sefcek. Sefcek's going to pull up and then find Carmody underneath. A nice pass, nice finish. It's great transition offense there by the Cougars. Sefcek knew she did not have the layup, but she was overmatched defensively there, and then she found Carmody cutting to the basket.
Absolutely, that was a smart play by Sefcek to hold that one in there and give it to Carmody for the easy finish.
Shore has it. Shore's going to take the three. That's no good. Hits the front of the rim and ends up in the hands of Forsythe again. Forsythe pushing the ball, and she's going to look over to another cutting Carmody, and that's going to be a charge.
I almost thought that there was going to be a kick ball on there. It looked like the ball hit the Manhattanville defender's foot before Carmody ran into her. But
and we will see Jordan Barth for the first time tonight, the junior captain, as Carmody gets her second foul. So early foul trouble for Rachel Carmody. Kutu gives to Pemberton. Pemberton over to Michieli. Michieli, her foot was on the line. That's for two, and that is good. Carroll dribbling around. Kutu on her. Now McGuire helps. And Carroll thought she was bumped by McGuire, but that is not the case, according to the official. Ends up in the hands of Michieli. That's a turnover. To McGuire and now to Kutu. Kutu fakes, and now she's going to try going up, and it's blocked again by Paige Wampole. Paige Wampole, such a force underneath, and now she's cutting. Sefcek finds her, and that is another turnover as that was Kutu was able to save from going out of bounds, and it goes to the Valiants. Pemberton tries going in, thinks twice with Barth there. Now it's up top to Kutu for three, no good, and Sefcek tips it over to Barth, who gets it right back to Sefcek. So it'll go to the Cougars.
Tough defense so far for the Cougars is really helping them out. A low-scoring game.
Both teams playing good defensively. Barth looks over to Carroll. Carroll gets it right back into Barth, and that's going to be a walk. She tried going up for the contact, but there was none, and she picked up her feet. Tessa Zamoli is now going to check in for the first time tonight for Japria Carroll.
Yeah, Michieli was the one that caused that travel there by Barth. Getting a hand in there and blocking that shot.
No substitutions for the Valiants thus far, as Sefcek ends up with it with the steal, and she's got a 2-on-1. She's going to look over to Zamoli. Zamoli goes up as she just checked in and gets it to go, makes an immediate impact. The transition offense has been very good for the Cougars thus far. Only 6 points, but 4 of them have come in transition. And another turnover is bad communication there by the Valiants, and it'll go right back to the Cougars.
How about this start for the Cougars defensively, doing an excellent job. 5 points off turnovers so far. It's pretty even there, but the difference really is the points off turnovers.
Forsythe gives it in to Wampole. Wampole looking, and she finds Barth, who has positioning, but she throws just a little too far. Got to go out of bounds, and it'll go back to Manhattanville. Kutu gives it over to Pemberton. Pemberton looks to drive with the right, but stops, gives it over to McGuire, and then right over to Shore. Shore finds Kutu near the wing. She puts it up for three. That is good. So Manhattanville takes the lead. Sefcek quickly gets it up to Forsythe. Forsythe now pulls up, takes a shot. That is good. Nice shot by Forsythe. She picked up her dribble, looked at her options, found that she had a shot, put it up, and puts the Cougars up one.
And an excellent job by Forsythe to avoid that charge call. She had a defender looking to force the charge right there, and she did a great job avoiding it to set that shot up.
Kaylee finds Pemberton and then over to McGuire. McGuire out to Kutu. Kutu for another three, and that is good. So back-to-back possessions now. The sophomore guard, Sarah Kutu, with 2 3-pointers. Manhattanville's up 2. Zamoli gives it over to Barth. Barth throws it kind of cross-court over to Zamoli, who looks in to Wampole. Wampole up and in. Something Paige Wampole has made a significant improvement in her sophomore year, is finishing at the rim. She's done a great job this year and making the most of those opportunities. McGuire now has it, and she gets stripped by Sefcik. Ends up in the hands of Wample, and now Sefcik's going to push it, and she's going to pull up, take the shot. That is no good. And there's Zamoli for the rebound. She puts it up, and that is in.
How about that by Tessa Zamoli following the shot, and a great finish by her to put the Cougars up by 2.
Suffocating defense by the Cougars thus far. That was the 4th steal for the Cougars just in this first quarter. And that's the 5th, excuse me. Tessa Zamoli now, she has a 2-on-1 with Barth. She's going to look over to Barth, gets it to Barth. Barth goes up and 1. And she's fired up, and why wouldn't she be? Cougars are up 4. Barth will go to the line.
How about this start for the Cougars, playing physical, great. Transitioning over on the turnovers, a huge finish by Jordan Barth there. Cougars have come out fired up. We heard them during the pregame. They were fired up for this game, and it is showing right now with 3:29 left to go in the first quarter.
Barth, 68.8% shooter, and that one is good. Extends the Cougar lead to 5, the largest of the game. Shore has it for Manhattanville. She gets it to Michieli. Michieli over to Kutu. And up top to Shore. Shore for 3. That's deep. That's no good. Barth's there for the board. Gina Catalano is checked in for Manhattanville. As well as Erica Hafley is checked in for the Cougars. She came in for Forsyth. There's Wample down low again. She puts it up, no good. She fights for it and tries throwing out of bounds off of Shore, but Shore did a good job of collecting the ball and handling it. And now Manhattanville is on offense, gives it over to Pemberton. That was from Michieli. Now Kutu has it up top, and Hafley guarding her.
Cougars bench wanting to travel there. They're not going to get it.
And now Shore working dribbling left, puts it up with the right hand. Air ball, no good. Ends up with Barth for the rebound, and she gives it over to Sefcik, who will run the offense. Sefcik dribbles with the left. She's going to go all the way and puts it up, no good. Wample is fighting for the rebound and ends up with it and kicks it out to Zamoli. Great job underneath by Paige Wample.
And that is a huge effort there. She was draped in between 2 Manhattanville defenders and still ended up getting that rebound.
Hafley over to Sefcik. She's looking inside, nothing doing. She gives it right back to Hafley. Barr sets the screen there on Q2, and Hafley goes in, and it looks like it's going to be a foul down low. I think it was on, it's going to be on Q2. And that's, I guess she was looking for some confirmation on the official, what happened there. Japria Carroll comes back in, Kaylin Sefcik checks out. Jess Nichols-La Rosa checks in for Manhattanville, and Japria Carroll for 3, no good. Pemberton has a tough time with it. Hafley thought it was a jump ball, but it's going to be a reach in on Hafley.
Personal foul on number 11, Erica Hafley. First, Misericordia.
At the top of the key, that's a deep 2, no good. Zamoli's there for the board. Hafley now controls it for the Cougars. Barth looking, gives it over to Zamoli. Zamoli over to Carroll. Carroll's going to dribble right. She's going to pull up. She's going to shoot it. That is no good. There's Shore for the defensive rebound for the Valiants. Kutu gives over to Pemberton. Pemberton finds Michieli. Michieli to the corner to Kutu. Kutu for 3 gets fouled, and she will head to the line for 3 shots. Sarah Kutu, a 72% free throw shooter. She gets the first one to go. For anyone that was just with us, we lost you for a second. We apologize. We had some technical difficulties, but we are back now. A 24-11 lead for the Misericordia Cougars. Cougars shooting 47.6% from the field, while the Valiants are only at 22.2%. The suffocating defense from the Cougars has been too much to this point. Sarah Kutu is taking her 3rd foul shot out of 3 after getting fouled on a 3-pointer. She misses it. Zamoli ends up with the rebound and gets it over to Sefcik. Zamoli back with it, gives it over to Sefcik. Sefcik's going to set up the offense. 7 minutes to go in the second quarter. Carroll dribbling around, she gets it up to Barth. Barth's going to take the deep 2, and that is good. Jordan Barth. While we were away having some difficulties, Barth hit a shot from right around there towards the top of the foul line, and a timeout is called by Manhattanville.
And shots are falling today for the Cougars. 50% from the field goal, 50% from the three-point percentage. They can do no wrong so far in this game.
19-7. That is the number of rebounds of the Cougars to the Valiants. All over the boards for the Cougars. Just some numbers to look at. Paige Wampel early with 6 points and 7 rebounds. Jordan Barth 7 points and 4 rebounds. And Tessa Zamoli 4 points and 5 rebounds. So the bigs for the Cougars, with Rachel Carmody and a little bit of foul trouble, have really stepped up for this Cougars team. Up 15. Just an update on what's going on at DeSales. Kings leads DeSales by 1, 52-51 with 8 minutes and 20 seconds to go. As we know, the winner here plays the winner there for the MAC Freedom title.
We here at MCN 87, we want this, we're rooting for Kings as we want to host another home game for the MAC Freedom Championship.
Kutu finds McGuire. There's Barth on her. McGuire puts up at the left. That's going to be a walk inside the lane. More good defense for the Cougars.
Manhattanville feeling the pressure that the Cougars are putting on them. 15 points, a bunch of rebounds, turning the ball over. Right now they're in a hole. And going to be a 3 seconds on Carmody there. She camped in the lane.
Yep, that's the second 3-second violation called. Earlier one was called on Paige Wampel. This one goes on Carmody.
Really trying to work the ball inside. They're seeing the mismatches up in there. So
freshman guard from Cambridge, Massachusetts, Claudia Valentin checks in for the first time tonight for the Valiants. Everyone else on the floor for the Valiants was a starter. She goes right to the rim, Valentin, no good. Pemberton's there for the offensive board, gets it to McGuire. McGuire hands it off to Kutu. Kutu made a couple threes from over there, but Carmody's playing good defense on her. Valentin looks into McGuire. McGuire goes up, no good, and there's Barth for the rebound. She gets it over to Sefcik. Good work underneath defensively by Jordan Barth. And a travel is called on Kaylin Sefcik. Forsythe checks in for Zamoli in the meantime as the crowd boos.
Feel the emotion in the Anderson Center tonight for this game. Not liking that call.
McGuire with it. She's trying to find Pemberton underneath. She does. Tries going for the reverse layup. No good for Pemberton. She gets her own rebound. Gets up to Valencia. Gets over to Kutu for 3. And that is good.
Kutu's three-point shooting showing exactly why she was named to the second team All-MAC Freedom.
Forsythe gets fouled going up. That Kutu's 3 was the first field goal make of this quarter for the Valiants. Forsythe will go to the line.
First team foul in the second quarter.
This is her second trip tonight. She's 1 for 2 and scored the first points of the game for the Cougars. Goes up, and that one is no good. Nice looking shot, but just doesn't fall. Paige Wampel is back in, the rebounding machine. She comes in for Barth.
How about this? We talked about Kaylee McGuire earlier in this game. 20 points on over 20 points each time they played the Cougars. Tonight, 0 for 7 from the floor.
Forsythe misses both, and Kutu goes coast to coast, right down the floor and right up and in. Cougars lead now shrinks to 10. Carroll with it, making some moves, dribbling through traffic, puts it up. That is no good. She tries getting her own rebound. It's going to be a jump ball, and that will go to the Valiants.
While Kaylee McGuire struggling from the floor tonight, not Sarah Kutu, as she is 4 for 6 and 12 points, including 3 three-pointers tonight. for Manhattanville.
Kutu gets it over to Valentin. Valentin dribbling around, she gets to McGuire. McGuire walked. Took a step before she put it down. As you mentioned, Kutu, second team all-conference named today, as well as McGuire for the Cougars. Japria Carroll named to that second team, and Rachel Carmody named to the first team. Forsyth checks out. We see Hafley come in now. Simoli in. Carroll, Wampole, and Carmody for the Cougars. Hafley gives it over to Carroll. Carroll gives it to Carmody on the baseline, gets it out to Zamoli. Zamoli dribbling around, she gets it up to Hafley. 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Hafley gets it up to Carroll. Carroll thinks about three. She only has 5 seconds left to make a decision. She's going to dribble left and take, and that's going to be a shot clock violation. It's pretty good defense there by the Valiants, as Carroll wasn't sure what to do with the ball.
We've seen that this year from the Cougars. You play that tight defense. We've seen a couple of teams, especially DeSales, to really, when they apply that pressure and get in their faces, they are known to make mistakes. And that's what we saw right there. Manhattanville, if they want to win this game, they got to continue to play really tight defense.
Kutu with it now, gets it to McGuire. McGuire over to Mickey Ailey. Mickey Ailey, that's just a two. Her foot was on the line. Carroll's just going to let that go out of bounds. Carmody tosses in to Hafley. Now these teams, we talked about, the Cougars won by 11 the first time they played. Valiants won by 3 at Manhattanville just a couple weeks ago. But both games were tight, both games were close. Both teams well coached. And Hafley takes another 3. That's no good. And we knew it was going to be a good one. It's good to see the Cougars up 10 here in this first half. Hafley grabs the board. She's going to shoot it up court to Zamoli. Zamoli's going to take the 3. That is no good.
Just Kutu
just going to let that go out of bounds. Spencer Shore checks in for Valentin. Shore comes right in and she controls the point to start. Pemberton now takes a shot from the free throw line. That's a good looking shot. That goes in. So now the Cougar lead is now only 8. Hafley gives it to Zamoli. Zamoli drives with her left. There's help defense there, and she gets it out to Carmody. Carmody's going to go for the 3. Rachel Carmody from 3.
Just that kind of night for the Cougars.
Only Carmody's 4th made three-pointer of this season. She's now 4 for 23 from beyond the arc, but she hit that one, and it looked good too. Puts the Cougars up 11, and there's Wampole underneath again, her 3rd block of the night.
Getting back to that Carmody 3, we've seen her, as we said here, announced in a couple games, we've seen her take that shot a lot and not make it, but like I said, this kind of night for the Cougars where shots are just falling for them.
46.2% from the field, and a turnover there ends up in the hands of Wampole. She gives it over to Emma Hayes, who just checked in. Her first action of the night. And Hafley sets up the offense. She's going to give it right to Hayes. Hayes is going to think about dribbling with her right, and she gives it over to Hafley. Hafley's going to try giving it to Wampole. Doesn't work. Ball's turned over now in the hands of Kutu. Kutu gets it up to Mickey Ailey. Mickey Ailey dribbles left. She's going to go up with her right. Good defense by the Cougars underneath. Then McGuire gets it, puts it up, and is fouled. She was fouled by Zamoli underneath. So McGuire will go to the line. She shoots 72.3%, has been to the line 155 attempts this year. Has been to the line plenty. And that one is good. She's averaging 16.2 points a game and just about 7 rebounds. McGuire, that was her first point of the night. Cougars have done a great job keeping her in check. Second one, no good, and there's Pemberton for the offensive rebound. She gets it out to Shore. Shore over to Kutu. Kutu's now going to dribble. She's going to put it up with the right hand. That is good. A little floater. She gets it to go. Emma Hayes gets the step check right over to Barth. And Molly's going to dribble with her left, go up with her left, and that is no good. But there's Barth for the rebound. That's going to be a foul, I believe, on Michaeli as she reached over and hit Barth in the head.
Jordan Barth, excellent night so far for her. 3 for 4 from the line, 7 points, 6 rebounds. She's coming off a strong performance against Eastern, continuing all that momentum.
Sefcik lofts it up to Wampole, and Pemberton ties Wampole up, and they'll stay with the Cougars as the jump ball possession arrow is in their favor. So go right back to the baseline and have another inbounds for Misericordia. Sefcik over to Zamoli, right into Wampole. Wampole with the right hand, can't get it to go. A nice design play, and Wampole ends up with it, but then it is stripped from her by Catalano, excuse me. Shore to Valentin. Valentin runs a point. Sefcik guarding her. She goes right through and puts up with the right. No good. Wampole there for another rebound. Gets it to Sefcik. Cougars push offensively. Sefcik gets it to Hayes. Hayes pulls back and gives it over to Zamoli. Zamoli for 3. That is good. Tessa Zamoli from downtown. 50 seconds to go in the first half. That's a big bucket for the Cougars.
It'd be huge for the Cougars to go into halftime with a 10-point lead when all that momentum will really crashing down on the Valiants.
Shore with it, gives it to McGuire. McGuire from deep. That is no good, and Barth there for the rebound. So there's about a 2-second differential between the shot and game clock. Emma Hayes, instead of going to the basket, she's going to wait, give it up to Sefcik, and it looks like the Cougars are going to hold this as long as they can.
Head coach Ryan signaling to them he wants one shot from the Cougars this possession. Doesn't want the Valiants to get the ball back.
Like I said, about 2 seconds differential, but if you score with 2 seconds, that doesn't leave the Valiants much time. Into Wampole. Wampole gives it over to Zamoli. Zamoli off the glass and in with 4 seconds to go. 34-21, and the shot is lofted up there by the Valiants. Not even close. Cougars lead by 13 at halftime. This Cougars team has come to play tonight offensively, defensively, especially on the boards, both offensively and defensively, and they have looked very good. We will talk a little more in depth about the first half performance in about 5 minutes as we'll come back for a halftime show. But the Cougars lead 34-21, headed into the half, and we'll be back in just a little bit. Please stay tuned.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's halftime performance is provided by the 2 stunt groups that will be competing in the women's 4-man cheerleading championship this Sunday. Up first is the Misericordia Blue Group, Rachel Rosado, Nikki Bagley, Kristen Robinson, and Kendra Maddox. the Misericordia Gold Group featuring Mariah Lava, Elizabeth Vespucci, Stephanie Monfort, and Ryan Morgan. Ladies and gentlemen, the ticket has been drawn for the winner of the mini H2O3 speaker. The winning ticket number, the last 4 digits, is 1310. 1310. The full number is 5531310. Please report to the storage table. Congratulations.
We're back here in the Anderson Center. Parker Abate alongside Justin Connolly, a very good first half for the Cougars. Justin, 34-21 lead thus far, and it's been a story of the bigs for the Cougars. Tessa Zamoli with 9 points, Rachel Carmody with 6, Paige Wampole with 6, Jordan Barth with 7. Been dominating on the boards, making shots, and it's been a great first half and a great start to this game for the Cougars.
Absolutely, and like you said, a story of the bigs, but really, I mean, everyone has come up fired up. They've been really smothering Manhattanville on defense, and that has been really big because that's been able to lead to those turnovers. It's been able to lead to the field goal percentage, but they're at a difference of 46.7 field goal percentage to the Manhattanville 25.8. So shots are just falling for the Cougars tonight.
This is the semifinal game in the MAC Freedom Conference. The winner of this game will go on to play the winner of DeSales and Kings, which is going on right now. 63-56, DeSales leads with 3 minutes to go in that fourth quarter. Kings had a lead just a couple minutes ago, but DeSales has found their way back into the game, back with the lead now. So obviously Cougars have to take care of business here, but if they do win, their fate lies in that game. If they have a home game, if Kings wins, they have an away game at DeSales if DeSales wins. But 34-21 lead here, Justin. Cougars led by as much as 15 in the first half. What do they have to do in this second half to keep this lead the way it is and extend this lead and really put this one away?
I think they got to continue the pressure. You know, they've been causing turnovers, especially early in this game, for just smothering them, not letting them pass to the outsides. You know, Manhattanville telegraphing passes a little bit, and the Cougars have been able to take advantage of that. And really, if the shots continue to fall, I mean, as simple as that sounds, but right now, I mean, shots continue to fall, they're going to continue to really dominate this game. And one of the other things, just passing the ball around. We saw some excellent ball movement really from Misericordia in this first half. If they continue to do that, set up the shots that are falling, it's going to be big for them.
And another thing, 6 steals for the Cougars in that first half. The Valiants had 5, but the Cougars steals led to points. The Cougars steals, they were very good in transition offense. Defense to offense was very good. That was another thing that we saw in that first half that led to success for the Cougars.
Another thing they got to do, contain Sarah Kutu, because right now all the points are really coming from her. 14 points in this first half. They're able to contain her. It's not really anybody else that's really been shining. I know we talked about McGuire being the game changer at the beginning of the game. She has no points in this game. Sorry, she has 1 point in this game so far. Huge difference from the first two.
Yeah, and she's been to the line, as we said, took 155 free throw attempts going into tonight. Her 1 point is from the line, but the Cougars haven't fouled her. She hasn't gotten to the line. They haven't allowed Kaylee McGuire to be I guess a pain in their butts like she has been in the past, this year at least. And Kutu said she scored 26 points in the Valiants' last game against Eastern, so she's been hot of late. But the Cougars, again, doing a great job defensively overall, with the exception of Kutu. But, you know, if Kutu's going to score 14 and the Cougars are going to be up 13 at the half, I think Coach Jason Ryan's going to be okay with that, especially in a MAC Freedom semifinal game.
Especially, I know, and that's one of the things that we talked about Coach Ryan, and what he does really well is able to adjust the game and put the Cougars in a good position and adjust. And I know that's definitely one of the things that I know that Coach Ryan was definitely looking at coming into this game, was McGuire did have 20 points on them, so containing them, so he's done an excellent job getting his team ready for that.
Yep. Valiants are back on the floor. Cougars will be out shortly, about 4.5 minutes to go until the start of the second half. Again, DeSales now leading 67-56 with about under a minute to go. So it looks like DeSales will prevail on that one, the number 1 seed in the conference. And the winner of this game will head to DeSales for the MAC Freedom Conference Championship game. Cougars trying to reach that game for the first time in 7 years. The last time was in 2012 when they won the whole thing. So we'll hope the Cougars will take care of business here, find themselves in a position to win the MAC Freedom. 4 minutes. We'll be back for the third quarter. Stay tuned. We are back here for the second half of action. Looks like the Cougars are going to start with their starting 5 on the court, as well as the Valiants. Just a reminder for you at home, that would be number 3, a freshman guard, Ali Michieli for Manhattanville, a sophomore guard, number 4, Spencer Shore, a sophomore guard, number 11, Sarah Kutu, a senior forward, number 21, Kaylee McGuire, and a sophomore guard and forward, number 45, Amanda Pemberton, and for your Misericordia Cougars, a senior guard, number 2, Japria Carroll, a sophomore point guard, number 3, Kaylin Sefcik, a senior guard, number 10, Leanne Forsyth, a senior forward, number 23, Rachel Carmody, and a junior forward, number 34, Paige Wampole. As we get going here, there's Michieli right up to the basket and in. Carroll was on her, tried maybe taking a charge, but nothing called. And the Valiants get the first bucket of the second half.
Definitely how they wanted to start that. Strong finish there by Michieli, going right to the basket, going in strong, starting off with 2 points.
And Sefcik goes right in for Carmody. Can't get it to go, gets her own rebound, can't get that to go. Ends up in the hands of McGuire. McGuire gets the rebound and gives it over to Shore. Kutu over to Pemberton, hands it off to Michieli. Michieli to the corner to Shore. Shore's going to take the 3. That's no good. Sefcik's there for the board. Pushes it up to Carroll. Carroll on her dominant side, her left, gives it over to Wampole, who finds Carmody cutting. Can't handle the pass. There's Kutu with the steal. Going to push it up. Look over to Pemberton, who gets it over to Shore. McGuire, the second team All-MAC Freedom selection, had it, and she gets it back from Michieli. She's trying to work on Wampole down low, does a nice move and gets it up with the right hand.
Excellent up and over right there. Caught Paige Wampole on it right there.
Carmody with it up top, gives it over to Carroll. Carroll thought about it instead, gets stripped by Kutu, and now Michieli has it. Carroll's going to chase her down and bump her as she goes up, and that is an and 1 and a quick 6-0 run to start this half for Manhattanville.
Talk about quickly coming out of the half, flipping the momentum. Strong start right here for Manhattanville and taking advantage of those turnovers early.
Zamoli checks in for Japria Carroll. And that free throw is good from Michieli. Now only a 6-point lead. Sefcik hands it off to Forsyth. Forsyth to Carmody. Looks in, finds Wampole, and that is a great job by Wampole to use her size down low against McGuire, and a nice feed by Carmody. Kutu sets up the Valiants offense and gets it over to Pemberton. Pemberton to McGuire. McGuire to Shore and right back to McGuire. McGuire making another up and over move, and she gets fouled and 1.
There we go, getting McGuire involved now.
Wampole not happy. She didn't even think she touched McGuire, but she gets called for the foul, and Barth is going to come in for her now.
For those of you wondering about the state of the other MAC semifinal game, DeSales winning that one 71-56. They will clinch that MAC final in DeSales at home.
Free throw's no good. Barth, who just checked in, gets the board and gets it up to Forsyth. Forsyth pushes the offense. This is what the Cougars did well in the first half, and she gets blocked by Shore. It's going to be called a jump ball instead, but it'll stick with the Cougars.
Good call by the ref. Forsyth almost traveling with that ball as it did get blocked.
And Carroll comes right back in after checking out. She comes in for Forsyth. Sefcik has it, gives it to Zamoli. Zamoli for 3. That looks good, but is no good off the front of the rim. Bounces high off the rim and ends up with Michieli, who gives it to Kutu. Kutu now to Shore. Shore, nice bounce pass there to McGuire. Gets it to Michieli and back to Pemberton on the other side of the court. Kutu dribbles left, she's going in, get a challenge. Barth puts it up, no good. Couple Cougars there. Carmody tips it to Carroll. Carroll dribbles through a little traffic and now is pushing the ball offensively. She's going to try and go up. Ball was stripped either by Pemberton or Shore. It goes out of bounds. It'll stick with the Cougars.
I believe that was Pemberton that stripped that ball from Jabria Carroll, stopping the transition run, which has been so good for the Cougars today.
Zamoli to Sefcek. Sefcek right back to Zamoli. Zamoli dribbles once left, picks up a dribble, gives it over to Sefcek, who looks in for Barth. 3 Valiants there, and up to Carmody. And Carmody looks like she wanted to shoot, and it got stripped by Shore, so it goes back to the Valiants. Now Shore ends up with it, Sefcek on her. Sefcek playing tight defense and a no-look pass down to McGuire. McGuire tries doing a step back, and there was Sefcek she ran into, and a 3-pointer, no good from Kutu. Pemberton tried saving it, but she was out of bounds and established out of bounds and touched the ball, so that will go to the Cougars.
I thought that shot from Kutu was going to fall. She just got her own defender hitting her arm on the way on that, up on that shot.
Carroll over to Zamoli on the wings. Zamoli dribbles left. She's going to take a nice pull-up jumper right inside the lane and gets that to go.
Excellent job working off the screen by Zamoli. I believe that was Jordan Barth setting up that beautiful screen.
Must-needed bucket for the Cougars there as their lead goes to 8. Manhattanville sticking with this squad. They've been in this whole first 4 minutes here of this quarter. Aaron Michele goes in trying good defense down low by the Cougar bigs, and they'll stick with Manhattanville. Pemberton to inbounds it, just throws it right up top to Kutu.
Kutu trying to set something up. So a little bit of miscommunication there.
She looked a little frustrated there as no one was really moving as McGuire goes in. She goes up, no good. Barth there gets up to Carroll. Carroll up to Zamoli. Zamoli's going to go up with her left, no good. And there's Carmody for the offensive board, puts it up and good. Rachel Carmody with the offensive board and the bucket.
Michele got bumped there. A little bit of slow getting up.
Kutu trying to do the fast-paced offense right back. Doesn't work, ends up with Sefcek. Now the Cougars have the ball on the offensive end once again. Sefcek with the pull. She gets fouled and one. Haley Sefcek. Wow. 12-point lead for the Cougars. A great job by Sefcek. Someone right behind her, sticking in it, getting the shot to go.
What a shot. That's got to be one of the most impressive shots we've seen all season. Kayla Sefcek gets drilled on that shot through contact, able to get nothing but net on that one.
Gina Catalano checking in for the first time this half for the Valiants. And again, Sefcek feels someone right behind her, but stays in there, takes the shot, gets it to go, and takes the contact to boot. Now she goes to the line for the 3-point play. That is good. The Cougars lead back to 13. Coach Ryan calls a timeout. The lead at the half was 13. It went down to 6, and it's back up to 13 here. A great job by the Cougars. Even though they let their lead slip a little bit there, they stayed composed, had some good defensive possessions, worked the ball offensively quickly again in transition and got some buckets, and now they're back up 13.
Yeah, and that's the transition game. Has been working so well for them today. And like you said, containing that composure, not letting it get too many. We saw a couple turnovers that were really unforced errors by the Cougars today, and they just keeping that composure, and Coach Ryan getting them right.
The Cougars have turned the ball over 15 times, the Valiants only 10. But that has not held back the Cougars today, as other than that number, they have been playing very well on both sides of the ball.
Still the biggest number for them really is that 46.2 on that field goal percentage.
And then there's another steal there. Carmody gets in, gives it right to Carroll. Carroll pulls up, smartly gets it to go, as McGuire looked like she was getting set, getting ready to try and take a charge. Carroll saw it, pulled up, and hit the jumper.
I always get wary of that fast break jumper, but tonight, Cougars have hit it multiple times.
You saw very early on the Valiants took a charge, and that's something that maybe Japria Carroll had in her mind there. She thought that McGuire might look to take the charge. Even though McGuire a bigger body, if that contact is there, they're going to end up calling the charge if the feet are set. So good job there by Carroll. Catalano tries going up, and more good defense down low by the Cougar bigs. Is tipped and goes out of bounds. Now Pemberton will control it for the Cougars.
The Valiants know where they want.
For the Valiants, excuse me.
The Valiants know where they want to go with this ball. They've been really attacking the middle and attacking the paint, but that's not one of the things that's really what you want to do against this team. With you got people like Barth, you got people like Wampole. I know Carmody coming out of the game right now, but attacking the middle is a very dangerous game when you're playing this Cougars team.
Yeah, Wampole checks in. Wampole with 8 points and 9 rebounds tonight. That's going to be a travel.
Here we go.
Valentin.
Momentum swinging back in the favor of Misericordia.
Hafley comes in. Sefchak will go take a seat for the time being. Hafley dribbling around a little bit. Nothing really doing.
Wampole trying to set up that screen.
Hafley's had the ball now for 18 seconds. Tries giving it to Carroll. Valentin pokes it out of bounds, so it'll stick with the Cougars. 11 seconds to go on the shot clock. 15-point lead. This is tied for the Cougars' largest lead of the night. Again, the winner of this one will go to DeSales and play DeSales for the MAC Freedom Championship. 5 seconds left. Hafley looking for anyone. Step back jumper from Hafley. That goes off the rim, no good. And that was Catalano trying to get the rebound. She couldn't handle it, so she lets it go out of bounds, and will stick with the Cougars.
It's the excitement in the air, Parker. We're at a loss for words right now. It's playoff time.
Carroll dribbles right, a nice move. She's going to go up. Couldn't finish there as Catalano was down low. Now Valentin tries going coast to coast. Ends up in the hands of Carroll. Another steal for the Cougars. She's going to go strong to the bucket. Japria Carroll. 47 to 33 and a half to go in the third quarter. Timeout Manhattanville. Cougars trying to advance to their first conference championship in 7 years. And a great start to this one through the first 2.5 quarters if they want to make that dream a reality.
And right now it's looking pretty good. 17-point lead with 3:29 left to go in the third quarter. And Cougars spreading the wealth. Tessa Zamoli, 11 points in this game. Paige Wampole and Rachel Carmody both with 8. Cougars, the shots continuing to fall for them. The fast break and the transition has been fantastic for them. 36 to 21 out rebounding Manhattanville right now. It's looking good.
We said at the half, and I'll still say it now, clicking on almost all cylinders. The turnovers, you don't want to be too, you don't want to nitpick things, especially when they played this well. They are losing the turnover battle, but other than that, they're dominating every aspect of this basketball game and heading into hopefully a championship game against the Sales. This is a kind of game you need to have as a team for your confidence level. You need to play well offensively, defensively, and you need to be ready to go against.
Yeah, you want to continue to have that momentum go. And, it's DeSales, a team that Misericordia has lost to twice this season. You want to grab as much momentum as you can if you're going to win this game. And right now, here's a very interesting stat for everyone. The Cougars have 21 points from their bench players right now. Manhattanville, 0. So the bench really doing their part for Misericordia.
Going to be a foul called down low on Barth. She might have grabbed Pemberton. Pushed Pemberton as Pemberton was cutting through the lane. Mickey Ailey's going to check back in. Starting 5 out there for Manhattanville except Kutu. She's on the bench, and Jess Nichols-LaRosa is in. And Nichols-LaRosa controls the rock and gives it over to Short. Over to Mickey Ailey and into the corner to Pemberton. Zamoli guarding her. inside to McGuire, and then some help defense from Zamoli. And Zamoli reached in. She's going to be called for the foul on McGuire.
Personal foul, Tessa Zamoli, her second. Misericordia's 15th foul for the quarter. Shooting 2, the Valiants.
That is the Cougars' 15th foul this quarter, which means McGuire will get 2 shots from the line. As we mentioned before, heading into tonight, she had 155 free throw attempts. She gets that one to go.
Getting more involved than she was. 5 points in this second half. We talked about she only had 1 point in the first half after 2 20-point performances against the Cougars this season. Shooting 2 from 12 from the floor. So Cougars doing a really good job manning her up. They had that game plan coming in, and they are fulfilling it.
And Bart trying to find Wample underneath, and Wample was grabbed, so that's going to be on the floor. Only the second team foul on the Valiants, so it'll go underneath the basket for the Cougars.
It was a smart defensive play, grabbing onto her, because she had a clear run to the basket if you don't get that reach in. Smart play by the Valiants defense. Right inside to Zamoli. Zamoli shoots, no good. Pemberton on the rebound. Shore setting up the offense. Gives it to Pemberton. Gives it to McGuire. Shore from 3, and it is good.
That is good from Shore for 3, so 13-point lead now. Hayfley shoots it over to Zamoli. Zamoli up top to Barth, and Barth over to Carroll. Carroll's going to dribble with her dominant hand left. Nichols Rosa on her. She's going to try and make a move. She does. She goes with her left hand one. Japria Carroll. Nice looking move. Takes the contact, puts it in. And if there's one Cougar you really don't want it to line, it's Japria Carroll. Shoots 87% from the free throw line. Cougars' best foul shooter.
Yep, she has an excellent shot, leading the Cougars in scoring this season. Subs coming in. Japria Carroll will come out. Leanne Forsyth checking in for Misericordia.
Shore controls the point for the Valiants. She gets over to Pemberton. Pemberton up top to Michieli. Michieli's going to try and make a move on Zamoli, and she kicks it over to Pemberton, who takes the 2. No good. Forsyth gets the board for the Cougars. Now the Cougars have numbers. Looks like about 4-on-2. Gets over to Barth. Barth's going to spin, put it up with the right, and that is good. Jordan Barth with a great move. She has had a phenomenal night. 9 points, 9 rebounds for Jordan Barth, the junior captain out of Norristown, Pennsylvania. Nikki Haley with it now on the wing. She gets it up top to Shore. And Shore just tries giving a bounce pass to Mickey Haley. Mickey Haley wasn't expecting it. Goes right out of bounds. Ball back to the Cougars.
There's one person on this team that plays a really tough defense. It's Leanne Forsyth, and she forced that turnover. Excellent job by her. Getting in the head of Shore.
Afley with it now, dribbling around, a couple screens from Wample, and now tries looking inside as Wample to find Barth. That is picked up by Nichols LaRosa. It'll go back to Manhattanville. Nichols LaRosa right over to Shore, who gave it to McGuire, and right back up top to Mickey Haley and over to Pemberton. Now back with Nichols LaRosa. Everyone's touched it so far, and Nichols LaRosa is going to go up to left, and sorry, Paige Wample's there waiting for you.
4th block of the night for Wample.
And a no-look pass from Leanne Forsyth to Wample, cutting in the lane. Wow. A 20-point lead for the Cougars, their largest of the night.
Leanne Forsyth getting fancy with it here. All the momentum, 20-point lead for the Cougars with 25 seconds left to go in this third quarter.
That bucket gave Paige Wample another double-double on the season. Jordan Barth needs 1 more point and 1 rebound to join her in the double-double club tonight.
Coach Ryan calling for he wants Forsyth or whoever else on the Cougars to take that last shot. Want to hold it.
And Forsyth trips. It looked like maybe over Wample's foot on the double screen. Nichols LaRosa holds it, but Hayfley steals it. Hayfley looked like she was trying to find Forsyth, but time runs out. 20-point lead. Trip to the MAC Freedom Championship on the line. 4th quarter coming up next. here in the Anderson Center in Dallas, Pennsylvania. Misericordia Cougars versus Manhattanville Valiants. Mac Freedom semifinal. Parker Abate with Justin Connolly on MCN 87. Misericordia's television network. We're getting ready here. 34, excuse me. Manhattanville will start out with the ball. And a lot of work to do if they want to get back into this one. Cougars outscored the Valiants 20-13 in that third quarter.
Now you can hear the crowd getting into it. They are alive here. And they called for the air ball and they got it.
Hafley's going to slow things down for the Cougars. Hands it off to Carmody. Carmody up to Barth at the top of the key. Barth looking in low, but that ball is tipped by McGuire right to Michele and goes to the Valiants. Michele thought about pulling up, didn't, and gives it over to Shore. Shore fakes it and then takes a deep two and gets that one to go.
Crowd not going to get the air ball that time. Excellent shot by Shore.
Hafley to the near side of the court. Dribbling around the screen from Wample. She gets it up to Zamoli. Cougars got a lot of height in there right now besides Hafley, and Barth takes the deep two, no good. Wample with a one-handed offensive rebound and gets fouled in the process. So a great job. If you're wondering who the Cougars, the personnel for the Cougars on the court now, Paige Wample listed at 6'1", Rachel Carmody listed at 5'10". We also have Jordan Barth listed at 6'1", and Tessa Zamoli for 3 listed at 5'11". So 4 out of the 5, over 5'10" on the court for the Cougars. Using that height to try and close this one out. From the corner, a three-pointer for Shore gets that one to go. So a quick 5-0 run to start this one for Manhattanville.
Yeah, nice back-to-back shots landing for Shore, trying to get Manhattanville back into this game.
Barth gives it to Hafley. Hafley gets a screen from Barth, dribbles around it. Shore does a good job getting around it as well. Barth into Carmody, who's triple teamed. Back to Barth, up to Wample for 2, no good. Manhattanville back on offense. Kutu has it, gives over the corner to Michele. Michele for 3, that's no good. Fighting for a rebound are Pemberton and Zamoli. Pemberton gets the best of it. Gets it up to Kutu, who tried doing a no-look pass to McGuire, but McGuire vacated the area. That'll be a turnover. And Coach Ryan calls a timeout for the Cougars. Called Erica Hafley over. He wanted to call the timeout right near his bench. So 15-point lead for the Cougars. 7 minutes and 51 seconds to go in this fourth quarter. Justin, the Cougars obviously looking to close it out right now. What's the key?
Get the ball inside. Take the high percentage shots. You know, you don't want to force the issue, because when you force shots, it's not going to fall. You know, you want to get as wide open of a look as you can, and they got to, and number one thing, really, control the clock. You know, wait till the last couple seconds to burn off as much clock as you can. You got a really comfortable 15-point lead. There's no reason to force anything. Carmody will inbound it to Hafley. Hafley gives it back to Carmody. To Carroll. Barth at the top of the key. Looking to shoot. Can't find it. Sefcek.
Sefcek now has it and gives it up to Barth. Down to Carmody. Carmody gonna 5 seconds left. Now Hafley's gonna have to take a shot. Step back 3. It's gonna be an air ball. And they call possession to Manhattanville before it hit 0. So no shot clock violation. Pemberton gives over to Michele up to Kutu. Kutu down low now to Pemberton, who gives it right back to Michele. Michele trying to make a move on Carroll, does a double step and gets it to go.
Good shot creation there by Michele.
And as you mentioned, Justin, 23 bench points for the Cougars, still 0 for Manhattanville. They have that starting 5 out there now, as that was their only source of points throughout this one. Barth inside, no good, but Carmody's there for the rebound. That's no good either. And Carmody's there trying to get it, and looks like she might have been out of bounds. And yes, so scramble for the ball down there for Carmody. And we're going to see Paige Wample check in now. Jordan Barth goes to take a seat.
She just, punched that ball right at the defender's knee. Might have gotten that ball possession back off of Kutu's knee. That was who was defending her.
Michaela with it, looking for something to develop, and just gives it up top to Shore. Shore over to Kutu. Kutu for 3, that is good. So now this lead is only 10, and a 10-0 run to start this fourth quarter for the Valiants.
Excellent then fighting back into this game, setting up the open shots. Mickey Haley was the one that helped set that shot up for Kutu.
And that's something that worked earlier this half. Carmody up top finds Wampole down low, who had positioning, and the Cougars end the drought and now get their lead back up to 12.
12 points today for Paige Wampole, 11 rebounds. Like you said, another double-double for her as Kutu takes that shot with Hafley draped all over her.
Now Hafley with it. She's got Kutu trailing her. Number 11 versus number 11. Kutu gives it over to Sefcik.
Sefcik trying to set up a play, looks like.
Trying to go down low. Carmody kicks it out to Hafley. Hafley for 3. No good. And there's Sefcik running in for the rebound. She takes the short jumper. Great job. Kaylin Sefcik getting the rebound, collecting herself, putting it up, and getting it to go.
That's what I was talking about, setting up the open shots. Hafley may not have fallen, but that was a wide open shot for her to get it. Excellent second chance points there by Sefcik.
Now the Valiant's trying to work down low. That is Michieli. That is no good. Pemberton tries getting it out to Kutu. It's swatted out of bounds by Wampole. Now coming in for your Misericordia Cougars, number 4 Tessa Zamoli and number 21 Emma Hayes. Rachel Carmody and Erica Hafley go to the bench for now. And there's Shore for 3 for the Valiants. That is good. Cuts the lead back down to 11.
A 3-point shot there by Shore, her second of this quarter.
Carroll with it, goes over to Wampole. Back to Carroll. Carroll's going to dribble with the right and try driving, and there Pemberton ends up getting in, gets it up to Shore. Shore now to Kutu, right back, and puts it up, no good. And there's Zamoli. So a transition chance there for the Valiants. They could not execute it, ends up back to the Cougars. And there's Carroll finding Wampole down low, and there's going to be a foul call on Michieli for reaching in.
Going back to that transition by Manhattanville. That was definitely a shot that I know Shore definitely wants back. Got to make that when you're wide open like that on the baseline, just missing it, and that's something that they could have definitely needed to stay in this game.
And something to look at here, the 2 leading scorers for Manhattanville. Sarah Kutu has 17 points, but she has 4 fouls. And also, Ali Michieli has 4 fouls and 11 points. So the 2 leading scorers, as Tessa Zamoli puts a floater up and in, 2 leading scorers for Manhattanville with 4 fouls apiece. No one else in foul trouble for the Valiants, and a 3 by Kutu. She gets that to go. 20 points on the night now for her as Manhattanville takes a quick timeout.
Miscommunication looks like between Emma Hayes and Jabria Carroll on who was guarding Kutu.
That's going to be a full timeout, so we're going to take a quick break. 60-50, Misericordia leads Manhattanville in the MAC Freedom semifinal game. Coming out of the Manhattanville timeout, 10-point lead for the Misericordia Cougars. As I mentioned just earlier, Sarah Kutu with 20 points, but she does have those 4 fouls, and Ali Michieli with 11 points and 4 fouls. For the Cougars, no one has more than 2 fouls. Rachel Carmody started early in that first quarter with 2 quick fouls. She has not fouled since. So as far as foul trouble goes, the Cougars are doing all right.
Looks like Manhattanville going to put on the full court press here, trying to create some turnovers.
And thrown in right to Hayes, who gets it to Sefcik, and Sefcik's going to take care of this press on her own from there. She's Dribbling with the left, tries finding Wampel. She does, even though it was tipped, and Wampel puts it up and in. 14 points for Paige Wampel.
Excellent defense there by Tessa Zamoli, getting the hand in, distracting, right in the face, distracting that shot.
It's Catalana that is checked in for the Valiants. And up to Emma Hayes from Wampel, no good. And Japria Carroll's in there trying to fight for the rebound. Looks like it's going to stay with the Cougars. So Japria Carroll gets in there and wreaks a little havoc. And now Pemberton's going to check right back in for Catalana. Even though Japria Carroll probably had no chance of getting that rebound, she was in there, and that caused Manhattanville to make a mistake. Sefcik down for a three of her own. That is good. Kaylin Sefcik gets it to go. 3 minutes and 21 seconds to go. Cougars lead by 15.
Sefcik 3 for 5 from the floor, 8 points. 1 for 1 from three-point range.
Kutu trying to answer, that is no good. Bounces off the rim, over the backboard, Cougar ball. Zamoli gets it into Hayes, who gets it to Sefcik. Sefcik's going to try maybe to break it again, and that doesn't work. Instead of a jump ball being called, she's going to be called foul, and that's going to be number 5 on Sarah Kutu, and she's out of this one.
The leading scorer for the Valiants. That's a huge blow to them. She has been shooting very well tonight, and they're going to have to find a different person to start generating points for them. Another interesting stat for tonight, points in the paint. Misericordia with 40, Manhattanville only with 12.
We've talked about it. The Cougars have used the size to their advantage. There's no doubt about that one. In case you were wondering, Nichols LaRosa is the one who checks in for Kutu.
Spencer Shore not happy with that call. I believe he thought that ball went off of Sefcik's hand out of bounds.
Speaking of checking in, Carmody comes in for Wampel. Sefcik controls it for the Cougars. She's going to do a nice little spin move and pull up right outside of the paint and gets that one to go in. Kaylin Sefcik for 2.
Excellent night for Sefcik. We've seen her make some incredible shots tonight.
10 points, 4 assists, 3 rebounds for Sefcik tonight. All the Cougars are getting involved as a spin move is down low by McGuire. Can't get it to go. Carmody gives it over to Sefcik. And McGuire gets called for the bump. That's McGuire's 3rd foul.
Yeah, definitely frustrating night for McGuire. Such an amazing performance both times that she played. Been shut down today, only 6 points and 2 for 13 on the floor. From the floor for her tonight.
Another big group out there for the Cougars. Hafley's the guard, with Samoli, Wampel, Barth, and Carmody all out there. Hafley gives it to Zamoli. Zamoli dribbles left, gives it over to Carmody, and down low to Barth, who has positioning on Michieli. And now a quadruple team there. Barth gets out of it, ends up with Hafley at the top of the key. She gives it to Carmody, who gets it over to Barth. 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Barth goes up. It's going to be called a jump ball, and it will stick with the Cougars.
Manhattanville playing some very physical defense right now. They do not want the Cougars to score another point.
6 seconds left on the shot clock, so the Cougars have to work quick once they get it in. And there, it does work quickly, but Barth can't finish as Hafley found her on the block and hit the rim, so it reset. Now Michieli going in on Carmody, and Carmody thought she got a block, laughs about it, but called for the foul. So Michieli will go to the line for the Valiants. Michieli, a 60% shooter this season, 52 attempts, 31 makes. Puts the first one up, and that is no good. 1 minute and 41 seconds away. Cougars lead by 17.
Barring something really disastrous, I think the Cougars have clinched this one. 17 points, a real tough difference for the Valiants to come back with such little time.
Second one is good, and Coach Ryan will call a timeout. It's going to be a full timeout, but we'll keep it here. 1:41 to go, 67-51. Just some numbers for you at home for the Cougars. 13 points for Tessa Zimoli and 8 rebounds. 14 points, the leading scorer for the Cougars, and 12 rebounds, a double-double for Paige Wampel. Kaylin Sefcik with 10 points, 4 assists, and 3 rebounds, and only 1 turnover. So she's been, when you look at your point guard, you want her to be somebody who can score, who can facilitate the offense, and who doesn't turn the ball over. A very good night for Kaylin Sefcik.
Absolutely, and like I said, we've seen her make some really nice shots tonight from behind the arc. We had that one where she got bumped, and nothing but net on that shot. But let's talk about Paige Wampel for a second here. I don't think anybody realizes just the length that she has on the floor. I mean, man, the Valiants have just struggled passing the ball around her, trying to shoot over her. I mean, the length of Paige Wampel has just been in full effect tonight, and she's just been a terror for the Manhattanville Valiants to try and just work against her.
Wampel, one of the best in the MAC Freedom at blocking. 41 blocks coming into tonight. You can add 4 to that total for 45 on the season. Tessa Zimoli also with 4 blocks of her own tonight. She only had 6 coming in, so that's a very good number for Tessa Zimoli.
Looks like a foul right there on McGuire, and a little bit of a tussle in between Sefcik and I believe that is Shore down. She looks like she's hurt, grabbing the knee, and that's never a good sign. Spencer Shore, the sophomore guard out of Boca Raton, Florida.
And we are going to take a quick break, 1:40 to go here. We'll be back for the rest of this one in just a minute.
Here live on MCN 87. Our best wishes and prayers go out to Spencer Shore, hopefully that is not a serious knee injury. But, you know, she went down, she was clutching her knee, and, you know, with the way that torn ACLs are these days and how easy it really is to do it, you never want to see anybody get clutch their knee like that.
Checking in for Shore will be Claudia Valentin, the freshman guard out of Cambridge, Massachusetts. For the Cougars now, Paige Wampel at the line, she sinks the first one. 61.4% shooter from the line this season. Emma Hayes comes in for Rachel Carmody. And Leanne Forsythe's going to wait by the scorer's table, assuming that it's probably for Paige Wampel. Wampel gets a second one to go. She comes out, Forsythe comes in. 18-point lead for the Cougars, 69-51.
Coach Ryan saying a few words to Paige Wampel as she heads to the bench, probably telling her what a fantastic job she did tonight, because she really did have a great game.
And Sefcik kicks that one as Nicholas LaRosa was trying to get it over to the wing. A little bit of different personnel here with Shore out with the injury and Kutu out with the 5 fouls. Michieli also not in this one any longer.
Looks like they're going to call Emma Hayes, which what I believe is going to be a reaching call.
Now coming in for the Misericordia Cougars, Nora Tracy.
First time we see her tonight, I believe.
Yep, the freshman big. Just another 6-footer for Coach Ryan. Nicholas LaRosa for 3, no good. Valentin going in for the rebound. Ends up going out of bounds, and it'll go to Misericordia.
I believe that she was just bringing out, Coach Ryan bringing her out there just for a big person to have on defense as he checks Emma Hayes right back into this game.
All right. Looks like Coach Ryan, as McGuire steals it, Now ends up with Nicholas LaRosa. Nicholas LaRosa tries finding McGuire, and it's tipped out of bounds. And here comes Tracy back in. This time she's going to leave Emma Hayes out there, and Hafley is going to come out. Pemberton over to Nicholas LaRosa. Forsythe gets elbowed in the face, but it was not intentional. McGuire tries going up, no good, and then Tracy's there for the rebound. So just you mentioned, Justin, for defensive purposes, the big's in there, and Tracy is there for the board with under a minute to go.
Cougars are going to waste as much clock as possible now. You know, they've secured a win. They're going to be going, I believe it will be Saturday game against DeSales for the Mac Freedom Championship. First time in 7 years they will go to the Mac Freedom Championship. Like you said, last time they did win when they were there.
30 seconds to go. Nicholas LaRosa out to Valentin. Valentin up with the right hook. That is good. 69-53. Leanne Forsythe will run the clock out. A very, very good game by the Cougars. They were prepared offensively, defensively, mentally, physically, and they were ready for this one for Manhattanville to come in here, beat Manhattanville by 11 earlier this year, a little bit different by 16 this year. Standing ovation from the crowd. Your Cougars not only are headed to their first MAC championship in 7 years, but they win 22 games for the first time in program history, 22-4 now. If you count this as a conference game, 11-4 in conference, and now they have a date with DeSales on Saturday for the title, for the hardware. What a fantastic game played by the Cougars tonight. Coach Ryan had them prepared, and it was one of the best games we've seen them play here all season long. I mean, it's a very good Manhattanville team.
I am not going to lie, this was the best game that I think that they've played all around all season. You know, that's what happens when you get into playoff time. You feel it. It just overwhelms you, and you know you want to play your best basketball, and they absolutely did that tonight. Player of the game, definitely Paige Wampel. I mean, the stats don't lie. 16 points. I believe it was 11 rebounds. It might be a little bit more than that, but I mean, and you just saw the length that she had. It was just an absolutely incredible game for Paige Wampel, and the Cougars are heading to DeSales on Saturday. MAC Freedom Championship. We wish it was here, but...
We do wish it was here, but we do wish the girls the best of luck, as it's a very big game for this program. We mentioned it multiple times tonight. First time in 7 years. We wish them the best. A great game played tonight. Our player of the game is Paige Wampel, as Justin said, and I am Parker Abate alongside Justin Connolly. You are watching MCN 87 on YouTube, Misericordia's television network. We will catch you next time. Thanks for tuning in.